Hey, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I'm Jabin Postal, and today at the grill, I'm gonna be cooking up an amazing steak sandwich that you're gonna love for sure. It doesn't take a lot of time, it's cost effective, and best of all, it tastes absolutely delicious. Now, other than that, let's get into the cook. As I said, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I appreciate you being here. Today at the grill, I'm gonna be making something that's been on my mind for a couple months. It's a steak sandwich. If you've never had a steak sandwich before, they're fairly simple to put together. They don't take a lot of time, and best of all, you can kind of customize them to whatever you're feeling. So if you're thinking something more savory, you can go that route. If you're thinking something more fresh, by all means, go that route as well. Sandwiches you can always customize to your flavor, and so that's what makes them so fun. So today what I have here is some strip loin, and this is about a 4-inch thick strip loin, which I'm going to cut in half before I cook it on the kettle grill. And then we got a ciabatta bun, some arugula, some red onions, some pickled jalapenos, some cheddar cheese, and then some condiments just to go on it. And so this is sort of the flavors that I've been craving for the past few weeks, even longer than that. What I'm going to do is I want to prepare everything before I cut it into the meat, so that I don't have to switch cutting board and switch knives and all that stuff. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my ciabatta bun, and so that's what this is here. I'm just going to slice it right in half. There we go, just like that. And so I will be toasting this a little bit later. But again, I just want to make sure I have everything prepared for this before I get cutting into the strip loin. All right, I have a red onion here, and this is what I want to use for this sandwich because I'm going to be cooking it down in the cast iron, and I want a little bit of that sweetness to come out. I also have a little bit of balsamic vinegar, some sugar, and a little bit of water just to help make that process go a little bit faster. And so what I want to do is I want to slice this as thin as I can. Those off. Just gonna peel this apart. And I'm gonna be using 1 onion per sandwich today, and I'm also going to take just a little bit off before I get it into that cast iron because I want to have a little bit of extras just to top on top of the sandwich. Just gonna place this off to the side here. And then I'm gonna slice these down. And again, I want these fairly thin. And then I'm just gonna rough chop them just into smaller pieces. I don't need to dice it, I just need to have some smaller bits. That looks pretty good. All right, that's all the preparation I'm gonna be doing outside of the meat. And so I'm gonna get these onto the grill because I wanna just caramelize them a little bit. And so they're gonna take probably about 15 to 20 minutes just to cook down to a consistency that I'm looking for this sandwich. So let's get them onto the grill. You can see I have my cast iron just sort of preheating a little bit. And I have this garlic infused olive oil. This stuff is so good. I'm gonna place that onto the cast iron. There we go. And I am using this as well in my mayo. It's a garlic infused mayo, and that's just basically using that garlic infused olive oil mixed with that mayo. And so let's get these onions onto that cast iron. And then, like I said, I have a few other things I want to put into the onions. So I have a little bit of water. This is probably about 3 tablespoons of water. I have about 2 tablespoons of some balsamic vinegar. I have 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then last thing, I put a little bit of the Mad Cow beef rub in there. Just a little bit. I'm gonna get this stirred around. We'll get that lid closed back up. And so I'm just gonna let those onions just sort of hang out in that grill. I'll come back and I'm gonna stir them a little bit because I want them just to soften down quite nicely. So let's go ahead and prepare our steak. And this is about a 4-inch thick ribeye steak, or as they labeled it, ribeye roast. When I saw it, I'm like, I can just cut this in half and save a little bit of cash on it. So that's what I got here. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it right down the middle, and I'm basically using the line that it was twined with. There, right down the middle. And just like that, we have these two really nice looking strip loin steaks. And just look at all that marbling in there. And this is what you want to look for when you're going for a steak. This is going to make it more juicy, more tender, and just add a ton of extra flavor the more of that marbling that's in there. All right, let's prepare the steaks for the grill. And today I'm going to be cooking these steaks hot and fast, which is a little bit different than what I may normally do, because cooking these steaks is supposed to be fast, because we really don't want to be wasting a lot of time to make the sandwich, because this is something that you could even do on your lunch break if you had that little extra time. And so this is why I'm doing it hot and fast, so we don't waste a lot of time cooking that reverse sear method. So like I said, I have this garlic infused olive oil. I'm going to place that on the steaks, rub that around. And then, like I said, I have my Mad Cow beef rub today. This stuff goes incredibly well on steaks. And so I'm just going to place that on the outside. Make sure we get all the sides. There we go. Those steaks are nicely seasoned. And so the only thing that we're waiting for is for the onions to finish cooking the way that I like them for the sandwich. And so let's go ahead and give them a stir. All right, these onions are probably gonna take another 10 to 12 minutes to finish cooking down and get nice and soft. And so I'm just gonna continue to cook them, give them a stir every once in a while, and we'll come back when it's time to put these steaks onto the grill. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes since I put the onions onto the grill, and I think they're done. Let's take a look. Oh, those smell so good. Gonna give them a quick taste. Yeah, that's what I want to see. There's still a little bit of crunch, but they've picked up a lot of that flavor from the sugar and that balsamic vinegar. These are exactly what I'm looking for. I'm gonna get this off to the side of the grill for now, and then I'm gonna mix together all of my remaining coals. It's because I want them to be roaring hot for the sear of these steaks, because if you don't have hot coals, you're not gonna get that crust and that sear that's gonna add a ton of flavor in this sandwich. And so I got those mixed together. I'm gonna let those go for about 3 or 4 minutes until they're incredibly hot. As I said, today I'm gonna be front searing these steaks. This is more your traditional way of cooking steaks. You know, you put it over the direct coals, you flip it a few times, then pull it off and let it finish coming up to temperature. It doesn't take very long, and that's why people love to do it this way. And so, like I said, I'm gonna be placing it directly over those hot coals. And today I'm gonna be using the cold grate technique, which basically means I'm putting the steaks on the cool side, then spinning the grate around over those direct coals. And then I'm gonna be flipping them 1 minute on each side twice until you get that perfect crust as well as the temperature that I'm looking for. And so let's get these onto the grill opposite the slow and sear. And then I'm going to spin these around and then start my timer for 1 minute. All right, there's our first minute. There's our second minute. Spin that grate. There's minute number 3. We'll spin that grate one last time. Ooh, just look at that sear. And I'm gonna just do one last flip on this guy. At this point, I want to just make sure I'm not overshooting my temperatures. I know it's going to be a little bit low, but let's go ahead and just probe it. We got 75 degrees and 74 degrees. And so these still have a few more minutes. And you know, at this point, I want to just make sure I have a good crust. I'm not overcooking the steak whatsoever, but I want that crust. And so doing a last few flips on these steaks isn't going to hurt the process. All right, just take a look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna remove that one from the flames as well. And just like before, I'm just gonna confirm what my temperatures are at. We got 84, and 82. These still have a few more minutes, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close up the grill and I'm gonna let those just come up to temperature. It's probably only gonna take a few more minutes to get up to about 127, which is my preferred doneness. And at that point, we'll get them back out of the grill and start slicing them up to make our sandwiches. Got 127. 127. Okay, so with these both hitting around 127 degrees, I'm gonna pull them off the grill. Just gonna place them onto the side here. I'm gonna let this rest just for a couple minutes while I toast my ciabatta bun. I'm gonna just spin this around a little bit. Grab my bun, and like I said, I already cut this, like you saw, and I'm gonna place that directly over those hot coals. And this is only gonna take like a few seconds to get a little bit of browning on that bun. There's the one. And there's the two. All right, I'm gonna get that off the side. Okay, let's cut into the steak. I'm gonna go for the big guy because it looks absolutely delicious. So I'm just gonna cut this a little bit of an angle. And let's take a look at how we did. Guys, just look at that. This looks incredible. I'm gonna go for a little sneak taste here. That steak alone is incredible. Let's finish slicing it up. All right, let's get to building this sandwich. And so I'm gonna start by placing some of this garlic mayo. Like I said, it's just some mayonnaise with some of that garlic infused olive oil, followed by my caramelized onions. All right, now I'm gonna grab all this steak. I'm gonna place that onto my bun. Maybe take a couple of these guys off. We're not quite done yet. I'm gonna grab a couple pieces of aged cheddar cheese and place that on there like that. And then I'm gonna get this onto the grill again. And at this point, you have two options. You can either just close up the grill and take a couple minutes for that cheese to melt, or if you have a flamethrower or a torch, you can grab that. And I'm gonna just torch this. Just look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna place that right on top of those juices. Let that bread sort of soak up some of those steak juices. And then from here, I'm just gonna finish building this sandwich. I got a little bit of arugula, place on top of that. I have a few of those remaining red onions. And then I have some pickled jalapenos. Again, go ahead and put on whatever you prefer on your steak sandwich. This is what I'm going for today. And then lastly, I got some coarse Dijon mustard. I'm gonna put a little bit of this onto this top bun. I'm gonna place that directly on top, press down a little bit, and just take a look at this. This looks phenomenal. Gonna give it a little cut. Guys, just take a look at that. You can see it's perfectly medium rare on that steak, and the bread is crunchy. There's so many great flavors going on in here, and I can't wait to go for the taste test. All right, guys, I can't wait any longer. I need to go in for this taste test because it looks absolutely phenomenal. I can't believe how incredible that steak turned out. First of all, it's just perfect medium rare. Here we go. That's so good. I wish you were here just to taste this because it's phenomenal. You know, everything works with this sandwich. First of all, that steak is cooked to perfection. But one of the things that comes out right away with the taste test is the arugula, the pickled jalapeno, and of course those onions. Everything is working together so great on this sandwich. You know, if you've never tried a steak sandwich like this before, make sure to give it a try. It doesn't take a lot of time, as you can see. You front sear the steaks, you cook some onions, you build your sandwich, and then before you know it, you're ready to feast into that delicious steak sandwich. I'm gonna go ahead, finish this one up, but I hope you give it a try because I know you're gonna love it. So that's how you make that incredible steak sandwich for your next meal. You're gonna love it for sure. So until next time, keep that fire lit and get cooking. Hey, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I'm Jabin Postal, and today at the grill, I'm gonna be making a delicious Nashville hot pulled chicken sandwich that you're gonna love for sure. It's smoky, it's savory, and best of all, incredibly spicy, which makes for a perfect Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Now than that, let's get into the cook. As I said, welcome back to Postal Barbecue. I appreciate you being here. Today at the grill, we're cooking up some delicious Nashville hot pulled chicken sandwiches, and this is going to be absolutely delicious. It's savory, smoky, and best of all, incredibly spicy. And this is gonna be a great addition to your weekly rotation because it doesn't take a lot of time and the flavor is just incredible. So to start with, I have one full chicken, and so I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna take some kitchen shears and just cut out that backbone, because I want this chicken to be laying fully flat on the kettle grill. And you've seen me do this a number of times. If you want to learn how to break down a full chicken, I'll put a link down in the description box for you to check that out. There we go. And then I'm going to snip the breastbone here. And then just with my knife, I'm going to just press down on this, splitting it in half. There we go. And just like that, we have two halves of our chicken. And this is just going to help the chicken cook a little bit more evenly when it goes onto the kettle grill. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and just clean up any of these unwanted fat deposits because end of the day, we're not using that. And I'd rather get some seasoning on the actual pieces that we're going to be using. You know, anytime you're cooking a full chicken, this is one of the ways that I actually prefer to cook it, just because you can control it a little bit more. You can also break it down and section it off into quarters, just to get the best cook possible on your chicken. Because we all know that when it comes to chicken, the breast dries out a little bit faster. The chicken quarter needs to be cooked a little bit hotter and longer for good texture. And so this is one of the reasons why it's always a good option to break it down like this. So when it comes time to seasoning your chicken, go ahead and use your favorite chicken rub. Today I'm going to be seasoning it with my Postal Barbecue chicken rub. This stuff goes incredibly well on chicken. So I'm going to flip it over because this is going to be the underside, and I'm going to apply a generous coating to the outside of this chicken. There we go. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to season the top section as well. Make sure we get it all in those nooks and crannies. All right, there we go. That looks pretty good to me. And so just like any other wireless probe, I'm going to place that into the breast portion here. And this is what I'm going to monitor because the breast is the one that's going to dry out fastest and first. And so with everything all prepared, I'm going to go ahead and get this chicken onto the grill opposite the coals. Next, I'm also going to add a little bit of hardwood for some added smoky flavor. There we go. And then I'm gonna close up this lid. And I'm gonna begin cooking this chicken on the grill until we have an internal temperature in the breast around 160, 165, and in the thigh portion about 175 plus ideally. And I have gone ahead already and set up the meat stick in the app, and so it's just gonna notify me the ambient temperature as well as the internal temperature of this chicken as it cooks. Okay, so my chicken has been cooking for about an hour and 10 minutes now, and my meat stick app has just notified me that it's reached 163 degrees. And so what I like to do when it comes to chicken, I always like to double check my temperatures using an instant read thermometer. I like to check the breast as well as the leg quarters, just because, you know, you never know if you place the thermometer in the right spot. And so let's just double check these temperatures. Hey guys, just take a look at this chicken first. It's got some really nice color. That chicken skin has firmed up quite nicely. It even feels crispy. I don't know if you can hear that. Guys, this looks so good already, but let's just probe the breast portion. We got 154 there, 155, 158. Let's do the quarter, 160 there. And 164. And so I'm going to continue to cook the chicken because I want that chicken to be at least 162 before I pull it, because it's going to carry over a little bit to get us up to our safe temperatures. And so it's going to be probably another 7 to 10 minutes for our chicken to finish cooking. And then when it is, I'm going to pull it off and we'll start making our Nashville hot sauce. All right, I let this chicken cook for another 12 minutes, and I already went ahead and probed it, and the internal temperature is 163 in the breast and just slightly higher in the thigh, so it's a perfect temperature for me. So just let me show you what this looks like. You can see that the skin has crisped up nicely. We got some great color on there from that smoke. And so let's go ahead and get this off of the grill. I'm gonna place it onto this tray. Close this back up. And guys, like I said, just take a look at this chicken. It looks incredible. If this was a regular cook and I was just going for some chicken halves like this would be perfect for me. But today, like I said, we're gonna be pulling it. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just cover it with a little bit of foil. And this is gonna keep the heat from totally escaping from the chicken, which means that when it comes time to pulling it, there's gonna be a little more hydrated and a little bit more juicy. And as well as keeping it on this tray is gonna retain all the juices that you know, come out of the chicken as it's resting. And so while it's resting, I'm gonna place this cast iron skillet over on the side of these hot coals because I wanna make my Nashville hot sauce. And so I'm gonna start with 1 stick of butter. I'm gonna place that into this dish. And I'm gonna let this quickly melt down a little bit. And like I said, this is a spicy sauce. And so if you've never had Nashville hot chicken before, you're in for a treat for sure. All right, with my butter melted, there's only 4 ingredients that I'm going to be adding in. To start with, I have some cayenne pepper. This is 2.5 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. And with this recipe, go ahead and add in as much or as little cayenne as you like. Some recipes, they call for a lot more. But with this, because we are going to be incorporating into the pulled chicken, we don't need as much because we're probably going to end up using a little bit more sauce than if you were just to paint it on some fried chicken. So I also have 1/2 tablespoon of coarse black pepper. Next, I have 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic. And then lastly, for just a little bit of sweetness, I have 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. And now I just want to begin to mix this together. Remove it from the heat just a little bit. There we go. So once that sauce is fully incorporated, it's a little bit bubbly, just remove it from the heat because we don't want to overcook this sauce. All right, let's unwrap this chicken and begin to pull it apart and remove that meat stick. And guys, just look at this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna begin to rip it apart, first with that skin. And you know, if you want to throw the skin back on the grill, go for it. I like to just cut it up as it is and take the breast. And this is where it gets a little bit messy. If your chicken is still fairly hot, it's gonna take a little bit more time to allow that chicken to cool just as you're pulling it apart. All All right, that looks pretty good. And so the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my crispy chicken skin and I'm just gonna slice into it and just make it into some bite-sized pieces that I can then incorporate back into this chicken, because there's a ton of extra flavor in all this chicken skin. We wanna make sure that's in our sandwich. There we go, place that back in there. All right, I'm gonna place this in a dish, and this is just gonna be a little bit of a mixing bowl. Guys, this smells awesome, but it's not done yet. I'm gonna grab some of this Nashville hot chicken sauce, and I'm gonna place a couple scoops of that in there and just mix it around. You know, you can really begin to smell the spice and the savory components of that chicken coming together really nicely. And again, when it comes to the spice level, adapt it to your taste. If you want a little bit more spicy, just add some more of that cayenne and you're gonna be golden, or just add more sauce to your pulled chicken. All right, that looks great. So let me just get some of the stuff out of the way and we'll start to build our Nashville hot pulled chicken sandwich. All right, when building this sandwich, there's only a few things that you're gonna need. I got some mayonnaise. I'm gonna place this on the bottom of this sandwich. And I'm using a brioche bun, which is nice and soft. And so once you have your mayo down, grab some of that Nashville hot pulled chicken and place that on your bun. And I'm gonna be fairly generous with this today. And so the last thing I'm gonna add on is some pickles. This is gonna help cut the heat a little bit. And so I like to put on a few extra pickles than most people. And so there we go. Top it with that bun. And guys, just take a look at that. That looks phenomenal. All right, guys, it only took about an hour and a half to fully make this Nashville hot pulled chicken sandwich. First of all, cooked the chicken at 325 degrees on the slow and sear kettle until it was up to temperature, then mixed together the Nashville hot sauce that blended all together. And guys, just take a look at that. It looks phenomenal. I can't wait for the taste test. You can really smell the spice, a lot of the spice actually, as well as the savoriness of that chicken. And so I can't wait. Let's go for a taste test and see how it is. Wow. There it is. Oh, it's delicious. Guys, this Nashville hot pulled chicken sandwich turned out great. You know, it's actually pretty amazing, especially when you pair that spice with the pickles just to kind of get through to the next bite. And like I said, you can add as much of that cayenne to add that spice as you like. This for me, I feel like is a really good, well-rounded spice. You know, can really hit a lot of flavor profiles. But if you are a spice nut, go ahead and double that cayenne, make it as hot as you like. But you know, this is one of those sandwiches that is full of flavor. It's spicy, it's savory, it's got amazing flavor from the barbecue rub, and best of all, it doesn't take a lot of time. And so you can go to work, come home, make this on the grill and feed your family in no time. And so it is just a winning combination. So I hope you give it a try. So that's how you make that spicy and delicious Nashville hot pulled chicken sandwich for your next feast. You're gonna love it for sure. So until next time, keep that fire lit and get cooking.